Good evening. You are watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, hosts a dinner banquet on the occasion of the Armed Forces Day. Assigned by His Majesty the Sultan, His Highness Sayyid As'ad bin Tariq Al Said heads to Turkey to lead the Sultanate's delegation at the extraordinary Islamic Summit in Istanbul. The State Council approves the state's general budget draft for the fiscal year 2018 and forwards it to the Council of Ministers. And the Ministry of Health achieves the International Diamond Award for Excellence in Quality. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, hosted a dinner banquet at Beit al-Barakah yesterday on the occasion of the Armed Forces Day. The dinner was attended by a number of Their Excellencies commanders of the Sultan's Armed Forces, Royal Oman Police, as well as senior military and civil officers. The celebration of this glorious day comes as an appreciation from His Majesty to his victorious armed forces with all of its formations and units for its great national role and dedication in performing the sacred duty in safeguarding the homeland, protecting its security and stability, and preserving the country's achievements.
مولاي مولاي يا عز الحمى الأسمى، يا طلة البدر الذي تمّا، يا من تبوأ روحنا وطنا، جئنا نبثك حبنا الجمّا، جئنا وصهوة عزمنا شمم، معراجه أمجادك العظمى، سلطاننا المنصور نحن لكم، جند ضمنا النصر والغنمة، جئنا وملء نفوسنا همم، وقلوبنا تستوقد العزم، فقد المسيرة ظافرا أبدا، قاموس قاموس يا تاج العلا الأسمى، أوسعتنا أمنا وكنت لنا فيضا من الألطاف والرحمة، سقيا لعصر أنت بهجته وزرعت فوق ربوعه السلمى، دم في علاك الله يكلأكم ويمدكم بالفضل والنعمة، ويمدكم بالفضل والنعمة.
His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has received a cable of thanks from His Excellency President Serge Sarkisyan of Armenia in reply to His Majesty's cable of greetings on his country's independence anniversary. Assigned by His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, His Highness Sayyid As'ad bin Tariq Al Saeed, Deputy Prime Minister for International Relations and Cooperation and Special Representative of His Majesty the Sultan, left the country today heading to Turkey to lead the Sultanate's delegation at the extraordinary Islamic summit due to be held tomorrow in the Turkish city of Istanbul. Upon departure, he was seen off by His Excellency Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdullah Al Hinai, Advisor of the State, His Excellency Sheikh Saud bin Sulaiman Al Nabhani, Advisor of the State, His Excellency Sheikh Abdullah bin Nasser Al Bakri, Minister of Manpower, His Excellency Sayyid Saud bin Hilal Al Busaidi, Minister of State and Governor of Muscat, His Excellency Mohammed bin Salim Al Tubi, Minister of Environment and Climate Affairs, His Excellency Saif bin Mohammed Al Abri, Secretary General at the Office of His Highness Sayyid As'ad, and His Excellency Athilay Arsalan, Turkey's ambassador accredited to the Sultanate. His Highness Sayyid As'ad is accompanied by an official delegation comprising His Excellency Yusuf bin Alawi bin Abdullah, Minister responsible for Foreign Affairs, His Excellency Sheikh Abdul Malik bin Abdullah Al Khalili, Minister of Justice, His Excellency Sheikh Mohammed bin Saeed Al Kalbani, Minister of Social Development, His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Qasim bin Mohammed Al Salhi, the Sultanate's ambassador accredited to Turkey. His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Ahmed bin Hilal Al Busaidi, the Sultanate's ambassador accredited to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and permanent delegate to the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, Their Excellencies Khalifa bin Hamad Al Badi, Advisor at the Office of His Highness the Deputy Prime Minister for International Relations and Cooperation, Saif bin Ahmed Al Sawafi, Advisor at the Office of His Highness the Deputy Prime Minister for International Relations and Cooperation, His Excellency Ambassador Sheikh Salim bin Suhail Al Mashani, Head of the International Organizations Department at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and His Excellency Ambassador Mohammed bin Nasser Al Wahabi, Head of the GCC Department at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The State Council forwarded the state's general budget draft for the fiscal year 2018 to the Council of Ministers with the recommendations by the State and Shura Councils. The State Council, in its regular session, approved the draft submitted to it from the Shura Council following discussions of the report prepared by the Extended Economic Committee, which comprises their honorable members of the Economic Committee and heads of the permanent committees at the Council. It also approved the amendments made to this report in light of the discussions and interventions witnessed at the session. His Excellency Dr. Yahya bin Mahfoud Al-Mandari, Chairman of the State Council, praised the efforts exerted by the government and the procedures carried out to reduce impact of the drop of oil prices, noting that the royal directives of His Majesty the Sultan to maintain the services rendered to citizens emphasize His Majesty's keenness to provide stable life for citizens. With participation of more than 400 of those concerned in decision-making, the works of First Forum for Leadership and Decision-Making started in Muscat. The forum is organized by the Ministry of Health and seeks to enhance the idea of exchanging expertise and good occupational practices and apply them in practical reality. The forum discussed what's needed to establish an environment that supports leaders and decision-makers in people and individual management while applying cultural practices in addition to vocational knowledge. The inauguration ceremony was presided over by His Highness Sayyid Haytham bin Tariq Al Saeed. The Sultanate, represented by the Ministry of Health, received the International Diamond Prize for Excellence in Quality 2017. The award is granted by the European Society for Quality Research as an excellence certificate for various service institutions in different parts of the world. The award came in recognition of the Ministry of Health's efforts to promote health services in the Sultanate and in recognition by the international health institutions of the good efforts made by health practitioners in the Sultanate's health system, as well as the support they receive from the Ministry in implementing the plans and strategies. The works of the 7th International Islamic Economic System Conference started today with organization of University of Islamic Science and College of Financial Studies. The two-day conference aimed to benefit from possibilities and expertise in addition to discuss highlighted challenges that face Islamic economy. The conference agenda will tackle issues such as economy, accounting, financial, banking, investment, administration, leadership and marketing, companies and governance. The conference targeted those concerned with Islamic economy and companies specialized in Islamic financing. The conference is followed up by a work session on legitimate auditing with a discussion on companies' governance in banks and capital markets and programs for legitimate auditing in addition to legitimate auditing operation practices. The activities of the Second World Conference on Tourism and Culture continued at Oman Convention and Exhibition Center. Around 700 people from inside and outside the Sultanate participated in the conference, representing 70 countries from all over the world. The five main topics focused on the issues, programs and plans related to the cultural tourism sector. His Highness Sayyid Fahd bin Mahmoud Al Saeed, Deputy Prime Minister for the Council of Ministers, presided over the opening ceremony. Still to come in our news bulletin. A discussion session in Sultan Qaboos University reviews successful solutions to deal with economic crises. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. More Russian troops return home as part of Syria. Partial pullout plane carrying Russian soldiers from Syria landed in Russia's Republic of Dagestan this morning. Russian President Vladimir Putin declared victory against terrorists in Syria yesterday during a surprise visit to the Russian military base at Hmeimim, where he also announced a partial pullout of Russian troops. Troops arriving in Russia today were greeted by relatives and local military commanders. The Palestinian Prime Minister today called on the United Nations to live up to its historical responsibilities and stop the violation of treaties and international law by Israel. Rami Al-Hamdallah made the remarks at a weekly cabinet meeting in Ramallah following U.S. President Donald Trump's decision to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital. Clashes continued between Palestinians and Israeli soldiers in Bethlehem today as violence rippled across the region following the move by Trump. Trump's decision upended decades of U.S. policy and a long-standing international consensus that the fate of Jerusalem be decided in negotiations. Israeli and Palestinian claims to the city's eastern sector form the emotional core of their conflict. Clashes continued between Palestinians and Israeli soldiers in Bethlehem today following U.S. President Donald Trump's recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital last week. Violence rippled across the region following the move by Trump, including clashes in the West Bank, East Jerusalem, the Gaza Strip, and across the Arab and Muslim world. Trump's decision upended decades of U.S. policy and a long-standing international consensus that the fate of Jerusalem be decided in negotiations. Israeli and Palestinian claims to the city's eastern sector form the emotional core of their conflict. In a news conference at a follow-up summit on global warming in the French capital Paris, UN Special Envoy for Cities and Climate Change, Michael Bloomberg, said today the United States will meet the emission-reducing target it set in Paris 2 years ago, and there is nothing President Trump can do to stop it. The Obama administration signed up to the target in 2015, but Trump revoked the measure. Bloomberg, however, told the summit that Trump's opposition had actually caused Americans to join the battle against climate change and that global warming was happening much faster than experts had predicted. At the same news conference, Bank of England Governor Mark Carney said an array of leading financial companies had signed up to a series of voluntary pledges aimed at encouraging corporations to disclose what they are doing to combat climate change. Scientists are regrowing coral from larvae on damaged patches of the Great Barrier Reef in a project that could change the management of reef systems worldwide. The Great Barrier Reef is one of nature's most beautiful creations, but away from the golden shoreline underwater, our modern world is making it harder for the coral to survive. Now, if the scientists get it right, there is new hope that it might be saved for future generations. Millions of coral larvae has been deposited back onto damaged areas. Within days, they can see coral polyps are surviving, settling into their new home. Conservationists in the Kenyan town of Watumo are seeking the help of local residents to try to raise awareness of the dangers of plastic waste, which is posing a major threat to the marine ecosystem. More details in the following report.
Kai is a sea turtle who was found by a fisherman near the Kenyan coast. The reptile was floating on the surface, a sign that she was unwell. She's now being treated at a clinic for turtles in the town of Watamu.
When the turtle started defecating, this is when we realized the turtle had ingested some plastic. What usually happens if the turtle eats anything artificial that cannot be digested, then to some point the digestive system will shut down. So the food starts fermenting, building some gas, and eventually makes the turtle floating.
But Kai is not the only one suffering the consequences of pollution, which is threatening the entire marine ecosystem. The clinic takes care of dozens of other turtles that have ingested plastic. According to the World Wildlife Federation, some 9 million tons of plastic end up in the sea every year.
80% of all the litter in the ocean is plastic. And the plastic is, of course, a tremendous problem. And since 1960, 20 times more plastic is produced.
Residents in Watamu do what they can to alleviate the problem. Every week, a group of locals work together to clear plastic that washes up on the beach. The clinic rolls out regular awareness campaigns and has been teaming up with the local school's Marine Scouts program, where children are taught ways to rescue marine animals.
So we focus on turtles because they are endangered, but also they're quite a charismatic species. People like turtles. It's easier to get people to like turtles than maybe a ray or some kind of weird fish. But also because they're an excellent indicator species of ecosystem health.
After the scouts collect useful information about the turtles to help with their research, Kai is then tagged for identification purposes, ready to be released into the ocean once again.
Back to some more local news. The Royal Navy of Oman, RNO, held a ceremony to celebrate Armed Forces Day and Retirees Day at the Saeed bin Sultan Naval Base. The ceremony was presided over by His Excellency Sheikh Abdul Malik bin Abdullah Al Khalili, Minister of Justice. The ceremony included a number of military shows accompanied by the RNO music band. The event also included pinning long service and good conduct medals on a number of RNO affiliates. The celebration came to highlight the development witnessed by the RNO fleet under the wise leadership of His Majesty the Sultan, Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces. Royal Army of Oman, represented in Musandam Security Force, and Sultan of Oman Parachute Regiment implemented the joint Omani-British exercise Nimr al-Jabal, or the Mountain Leopard, with participation of infantry units from British Royal Navy. The exercise took place in the combat training unit in the mountain and built areas affiliated to Royal Army of Oman in the Governorate of Musandam, showcased the efficiency and high capabilities of affiliates of the Royal Army of Oman. The implementation of the exercises came within the framework of training plan carried out by the Command of Royal Army of Oman for sustainability of high performance and training, as well as combat efficiency for RAO affiliates. It was presided over by Major General Matar bin Salim al-Blushi, Commander of the Royal Army of Oman, with the attendance of Major General Sir Nicholas Patrick Carter, Chief of Staff of the British Army. A discussion session on management of economic crises was held in Sultan Qaboos University. It reviewed ways and successful solutions to deal with such crises, in addition to the preparedness of civil community, as well as studying the proper solutions through researches. The session was presided over by His Excellency Dr. Abdul Mun'im bin Mansour Al-Hsani, Minister of Information. It was considered an opportunity to exchange knowledge and expertise, as well as to get acquainted with the latest methods in dealing with economic crises. It also shed light on plans and programs to be implemented by the government, private sector and the community. The session further focused on international experience in management of economic crises. An exhibition of Omani traditional signing arts was held in the Governorate of Muscat. It came within the activities of Oman Music Days that aim to acquaint the members of the society with various types of arts as being part of the Omani heritage. The exhibition included around 40 pictures that shed light on some musical instruments used by Omanis, in addition to books and other items. Around 20 pictures in the exhibition came from Oman's Center for Traditional Music, affiliated to the Sultan Qaboos Higher Center for Culture and Science. Activities of the 6th International Conference Oman's relation with the Indian Ocean and Gulf countries, which is organized by the National Archives and Records Authority, continue in the Kuwaiti capital. Here's a report by Abdullah Rubi'i.
The 6th International Conference, organized by the Sultanate of Oman's National Records and Archives Authority on Oman's relations with the countries of the Indian Ocean and the Gulf during the period 17th to 19th century, emphasizes the joint vision of the Sultanate of Oman and the Indian Ocean and Gulf countries, held here at Sheikh Jaber Al Ahmed Al Sabah Cultural Center exhibition in Kuwait City. This three-day conference, which commenced yesterday, reflects the continuity of the existing relations and brotherly communications between them, at the same time educates the future generations of the strong ties among these countries.
This is a great event. Our friends, the Omanis, have done a great job in coming to Kuwait and presenting this kind of papers which deal with the history of Oman vis-à-vis the Gulf and Indian Ocean. I think it's a very rich conference. The paper which have been presented is very important, and it shared a lot of information to our history. And this is the Gulf history is interconnected, 17th, 18th, 19th century onwards till today. The future of Oman is very bright because of those young generation coming out of schools and universities and participating in the development of Oman.
The strategic location and passion for seafaring since ancient times have been guiding force behind Oman's rich history. This all will be revealed in 3 days conference through 45 walking papers. Various areas of cultural aspects of Oman and its humanitarian contribution to human civilization will be presented by the scholars and researchers from 15 different countries of the world.
My paper is on Oman's relations with Malabar. What I'm trying to discuss in my paper is about the kind of relationship what Malabar had with Oman through the life histories of some people who traveled all the way from Malabar and settled in Malabar and spent quite a lot of time in Oman.
Kind of this conference is very important because it's built the relationship between countries in whole the world. I joined this conference and I find all the papers who talking about the relationship between Sultanate Oman and Persia. I think it's very important, very interesting papers.
On the sideline of the conference, Records exhibition has been organized. This exhibition displays various historical and cultural contents that play an essential role in maintaining the cultural legacy witnessed by the Sultanate in various areas.
Now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Clear skies will prevail over the Sultanate with chances of low clouds and fog late at night and early morning over the governorates of Dhahira, Wusta and coastal areas of the Sea of Oman. Winds will be northerly to northwesterly, light to moderate. Seas will be slight to moderate with a maximum wave height of 1.5 meters. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, hosts a dinner banquet on the occasion of the Armed Forces Day. Assigned by His Majesty the Sultan, His Highness Sayyid As'ad bin Tariq Al Saeed heads to Turkey to lead the Sultanate's delegation at the extraordinary Islamic Summit in Istanbul. The State Council approves the state's general budget draft for the fiscal year 2018 and forwards it to the Council of Ministers. And the Ministry of Health achieves the International Diamond Award for Excellence in Quality. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.